The Emperor has been expecting you.
Greetings, Star Travelers, this is Man and Ushanka. Subtitles in English are included, as always. As we all know, George Lucas, when creating blaster weaponry for Star Wars, decided not to use overly futuristic-looking toy guns that were typically associated with the word blaster in the 70s. Instead, to make his creation look more original, he decided to use another design. As a basis for our beloved blasters, he took different existing weapons, the appearance of which was changed a little bit to create the sense of unusualness. As many of the viewers already probably guessed, Han Solo's pistol was created on the base of a German C96 Mauser handgun that bore the nickname Broom Handle. And besides that, to individualize the weapon, it got different attachments of various details, including a flash hider taken from an MG81 machine gun that made the weapon look more volume, and therefore to make it look more interesting and threatening. And besides that, as we could see in the 4th episode of Star Wars, that blaster had a big scope that everyone usually sees on sniper rifles like K98. This scope in both the old and the new canon was motion sensitive and was very useful in long-distance skirmishes. In the 5th episode, we could see that the scope was removed. According to the lore of Star Wars, Han Solo was pretty cocky about his aim, so he removed the device to increase the speed of holstering and, what's more important, unholstering his famous gun. An effective range of fire varies from blaster to blaster, and although usually the maximal effective fire distance was not more than 50 meters, sometimes a good shooter was able to use it on distances up to 75 meters. Still, it was rarely used to shoot targets further than 25 meters from the shooter. Yes, the firing range of this weapon was quite small, at least a few times shorter than the one of an E11 standard blaster rifle that was used by famous stormtroopers of the Galactic Empire. Not to mention that it consumed more energy per shot and required way more Tibanna gas or plasma batteries, even for short skirmishes. However, that was compensated by a bigger blast on contact. In video games, of course, as we all know, Han Solo's blaster cannot demolish houses. It cannot destroy walls, for example, and it can't kill people in one shot. Remember, the damage in games was never canonical, due to the limitations of the game mechanics. If games showed real firepower of blaster rifles and blaster pistols, every few skirmishes could devastate entire neighborhoods. And such things are not easy to bring into video games. At least not into old video games like Jedi Academy. I also wonder why the DICE decided not to bring such a mechanic into Battlefront 2017. As we know from games like Battlefield, they do have the technology. But if they did, it would be way cooler. Just imagine bringing the famous Naboo Palace to pieces. Unfortunately, in games, even in the newer games, you can spend hours shooting the walls to see no destructive effects whatsoever. Nonetheless, both the new and the old Star Wars canons had the examples of this destructive firepower. Just remember how an entire building was devastated just with the fire of E11 blaster rifle in a book from the Thrawn trilogy, for example. Not to mention the famous scene in Mos Eisley Spaceport from The New Hope, where blaster shots made huge chunks of concrete walls literally explode. Yet there was a kind of material that could withstand extremely high temperatures of powerful plasma shots that could crush stone and burn humans alive. The name of this material was plastoid. We can easily find examples of plastoid armor in the universe of Star Wars. Clone trooper armor, stormtrooper armor, even Darth Vader's armor, all of them had plastoid plates as defense mechanisms against overheated shots of plasma. And yes, blasters were so powerful that it was possible to get a person in such armor out of battle just in one shot. Yet the difference between a short person in plastoid armor and the short person without the knotted armor was like a difference between an injured man and a boiled piece of meat. Han Solo's blaster, however, was way more powerful than its analogues, and it was the only known blaster of its size to deal with plastoid-covered opponents. That was the reason DL-44 was banned on the markets of the Galactic Empire, even on those planets where it was legal to carry blasters of other types for the purposes of self-defense and hunting, including bounty hunting. Such a fact, however, didn't prevent companies like Blast Tech Industries from supporting the military forces of the Rebel Alliance, even though the Galactic Empire was also one of its main clients. Anyways, let's not get deep into the topic of the Galactic Empire being a corporatocracy. By the way, there were other corporations like Merson Munitions that conducted their business kinda in accordance with the rules of not creating extra powerful hand blasters. This fact, however, didn't stop them from supplying rebels, but yeah, at least they tried to appear to be law-abiding. In any case, the Rebel Alliance had no problem acquiring these powerful handguns, and Han Solo, as we know, used his favorite blaster pistol for decades and decades more in both the new and the old canon of Star Wars. However, thus is how our video is going to end. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe to my channel and to press the bell button to be one of the first people to see one of my newest videos right after its publication. Write your comments, my fellow star travelers, and as the ancient said, let the force go with you, always.